Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Mystic's Heart. Welcome to a beautiful new day. Hey, Kimberly Wink, it's good to see you already in the chat room. Great to see your face and feel your vibe. Good morning, everybody. It's a great new day. Beautiful day here in the Enchanted Forest. And welcome to the show. Come on in to the chat room. Today on the Mystic's Heart, we're going to combine all of the Mystic empowerment decks that I, along with David Fix, created. And soon there will be yet another. Good morning, Holly. There will be another deck coming up. And it'll be the 36 Mystic Angels and Enchantments deck. So that'll be a lot of fun. David Fix and I are working on that. So good morning. The Mystic's Heart. What I love about the Mystic's Heart is that it's never settled just in understanding things that are physically present. The Mystic's Heart longs to look across the veil, to feel across the veil, touch across the veil, and to be part of something unseen, to learn more about the unseen, the origins of the soul, perhaps, the origins of all things. And that's the basis of the show, is nurturing the mystic's heart. Taking time once a month to spend a little bit of time with the mysteries. So this morning I've got all 4 of the empowerment decks. Big fun. I'm shuffling them. You can probably hear me. And here we go. Let's have some fun. Kimberly Wink, I'm going to draw a card for you. And the card for you is the Whale. I love it, from the Totem deck. So Grandmother Whale comes to us from the direction of the north. She represents Grandmother Earth and the sacred songs of Grandmother Earth and Father Sky. The Star Nations correspondence of the Whale, we all have a star correspondence, each and every one of us. We come from the stars. Astrologically speaking, we're born with the influence and under the influence of the stars. We all have star correspondences, correlations. And for the Whale, it's the Cetus, C-E-T-U-S constellation. I sing the sacred songs of our Star Nation relatives in the deepest depths of the Creator's vast, endless seas. I chant the tales of the ancient ones who shine their knowledge in the indigo sky and dance their holy dances on the sandy floors of the oceans worldwide. Those who listen will hear them. Those who are wise trust in the ancient songs and sing along. And your daily mantra for this one, Kimberly's, I love this. I hear the songs of the Creator in all things, great and small. I sing along in sacred harmony. So looking at our calendar, Kimberly, we have a full moon coming up on August 3rd. And also we are heading into this weekend, the beginning of Lunasa or Lammas. Right? It's a celebration, one of those betwixt and between celebrations that our Celtic ancestors love to remind us of, thank goodness. And so what that means, Lammas or Lugnasa, is the first harvest. This weekend is that place of in-between. And it's a beautiful celebration of the first harvest. And so if we are so inclined, at this very sacred time of betwixt and between, called Lammas or Lugnasa, on a full moon, Monday, or any time this weekend, in the coming of the full moon, and then in the wafts and waves following the full moon, to chant, to sing, to drum, to rattle, right? To create a joyful noise, some might say. I think one of the best ways to drum, to rattle, is really to let spirit move through you, to allow those things to happen, to be inspired. I love that. Growing up Catholic, we're taught prayers and sequences of prayers and incantations and invocations and sequences. And so we're taught to do them in a certain way, in a certain pattern. And it was great, good fun as I got older to realize that adding to that, because there is something very magical about pattern in prayer and chant and incantation, invocation, that we can also just let inspiration guide us in prayer, in chant, in drumming. Yeah, so there you go, Kimberly. Hey, Donna King. Hey, Tara. Lori, good morning. Hey, cousin. Glad you're liking all the incenses and stuff. I'll send you some more South Dakota sage. Happy to do that. Holly Hagen, this one is for you. Holly, I'm so glad you made it with us this time. Hooray. Yeah, so there are lots of ways of celebrating. And there's so much to celebrate, right? Even with the chaos. Tara asked a great question. Tara, if there's chaos on Grandmother Earth, does that mean, is there also chaos in the unseen realms? And the answer to that is yes. As above, so below. As within, so without. It's a great time of chaos, and we all know that out of chaos, stars are born. That's how we give birth to those wonderful baby stars in the nurseries in the cosmos. It's through chaos and friction. All right, Holly, this one is for you. It's the penguin. I see we've got a lot of totem animal stuff going on today. The penguin represents the in-between and the direction of the north. For me, the direction of the north is represented by the color red, which is also said luta, is the old way of saying red. So the direction of the north and that place in between, the land of the Wakam Washte, of the good spirits. This represents astral travel and the dream time. I sail across the starry oceans and traverse the in-between, yet I live in the sacred waters and on the icy cap of Grandmother Earth. The old ones are calling to you from their primal home in the cosmos, Holly. I will help you to answer their call by assisting your spirit body in safely navigating the astral realms of lucid dreaming and the world of in-between, where the old ones will teach you about the ancient ways. When you are ready to enter the sacred realm of your star ancestors, in dreams, meditation, and contemplation, call to me. I will take you to your higher place of learning. And your daily mantra, Holly, is this: I listen to the voice of my star ancestors. My soul hears their teachings, right? Some teachings are so ancient, they're so old, they do not have a language that we in our humanness sometimes can understand. Our soul can understand the vibration and octave of spirit, but not always our rational mind. The penguin represents allowing our spirit to travel through meditation, through prayer, through contemplation, through chant, whatever it is for us, to get to that sacred place within us. And so if you're wanting to do some of that work, penguin is a wonderful ally. I'm going to go shut the door because Dominic just opened it. Okay, I'm back. So yes, I mean, if there is chaos going on the earth plane, there's also chaos going on in the subtle realms. We can feel it. Some of us are experiencing it in our dreams and not knowing what it is. But it is the birth of a new time. It's a great awakening right now, and some shifting and sorting and all those good kind of things that happen every so often. And I love that a comet also heralded what we are going through. We had that wonderful comet. All right. Okay, cousin, this one is for you. It is the unicorn from my mythology deck. The unicorn. Love the unicorn. I just ordered, for my she shack out on the eastern side of the Enchanted Forest, I have what I call my Goddess Grove. And that particular plot of land has always had a little shack on it. And I've created a space for goddess energy. And it's really quite beautiful. But yesterday or the day before, I ordered a hex sign. A Pennsylvania Dutch hex sign of 2 unicorns. And the unicorn represents so many things. It represents, for many people in medieval times, the unicorn represents the Christ light. So we see in medieval tapestries, unicorns in the tapestry. And the symbology of that horn for many during that time and still during this time is that horn on the unicorn represents the connection of the third eye to Creator, to Spirit, to all of creation. And again, in medieval tapestries, we often see the unicorn in a garden. And oftentimes the unicorn is white, represents the Christ light. In the deck that David and I created, the unicorn also represents the light within. It's that inner light in the Sanctum Sanctorum. I love that Latin language. The light within. The unicorn represents the elements of spirit and light. And the origin of the mythology of the unicorn is Greece and Rome. It's very ancient from that part of Grandmother Earth. And I love the teaching of the unicorn. Darkness prevails where the light is not fully present. The light of your soul, Donna, is a tremendous force of goodness and love on Grandmother Earth. While the darkness may test you, it will most certainly never prevail. More than ever, it is essential for you to shine your divine light. As a magnificent child of the light, it is through your words, actions, meditations, thoughts, and prayers that you bring great courage, hope, and strength to those who are currently lost in dark's illusion. And your mantra, dear cousin, is this: the purity of my soul lights up the darkness and shines brightly for others to see. I really like that teaching. The darkness prevails where the light is not fully present. And I always say the brightest lights are often called into the darkest places, right? Don't we? And the greatest teachers walk through the greatest fires. I believe that. All right. Yes, Mary Ellen. Good morning, Mary Ellen. It's good to have you with us this morning. We'll choose a card here. I am just shuffling away. And oftentimes it's really not even so much what we're saying, it's really just what we're doing, isn't it? It's the light that we're emitting. Just when we're being ourselves. All right, here you go, Mary Ellen. It's the Archangel Hamaliel. I love this. Hamaliel is associated with Virgo. Those of you that are of the Virgo persuasion. Virgo, the pure of heart, and the Archangel Hamaliel are great good friends. The contemplative word for Hamaliel is compassion. So I'm just going to read this to you, Mary Ellen. So I'm going to ask you to take a nice deep breath. Actually, all of you are invited to take a nice deep breath and listen to this message from Hamaliel. Has anyone ever told you how much you are loved? Or that nothing you have done in the past or will ever do in the future can separate you from the love of Creator? The Archangel Hamaliel reminds you that the one who created you loves you without condition. This loving angel of compassion asks that you give yourself this same gift of unconditional love. The daily mantra from Hamaliel, everyone, is this: my heart is a vessel of compassion toward all living things. I love myself. I love myself. I remember the first time that I said that to myself, I couldn't quite put the whole sentence out there. It took practice for me. I love myself. I love me. Being kind and compassionate to others comes so naturally for many of us. And extending that very same compassion to ourselves, oy vey, that can really be problematic, can't it? So just for today, and maybe tomorrow, everyone, give yourself the gift of loving compassion. Lori. Hey, Kelly Spencer. Lori, this one is for you. Well, I guess we're on a roll. The angel Yehudia. Love Yehudia. The contemplative word, Lori, for Yehudia is this: birth. And Yehudia is associated with the Great Pyramid at Giza, which is not actually a death pyramid or a burial chamber. It is a place of birth and rebirth. It's a magnificent place. And I will be so glad when we are back to some sort of way that we can all travel, because I cannot wait to bring myself and a few friends back to Egypt with me, right? Spend some time with Sabre and Abdullah and the whole cast and crew there in Egypt. The Great Pyramid at Giza. This is for you, Lori. The angel Yehudia is here to help you celebrate your life. This splendid angel of light wishes you to know how very much your life positively impacts others, Lori. Your service to the light is recognized and honored by your angelic guides and by the one who loves you most of all. You, Lori, make a glorious and joyful difference in this world, and you are loved. Your daily mantra: on this day, I honor my birth and my purpose for being, which is love. Don't you love that? That's right, that's what we're here to do. Sometimes it's tough love. Sometimes it's boundary setting love, but it's love. And including loving ourselves, right? Nourishing our own soul. All right. Tara. This one is for you, Tara. Oh, I love this. This is a bit of Viking Scandinavian mythology, the Swan Maiden. The Swan Maiden also represents the Valkyrie Shield Maiden, the elements of air and wind, and the origin of the legend of the Swan Maiden is Scandinavia. Scandi. For me and you, Cousin Donna, we have Valkyrie blood from Norway running through our blood and our bones. Skål. All right, Tara. Your mantra, or the keynote, I should say, of this particular mythological card is this: you are divinely protected. Tara. You have lived through many hard-won, sometimes sorrowful battles, both in your physical and spiritual life. The Swan Maiden joyfully acknowledges your loyalty to the path of light that you have chosen, and now heralds a time of great prosperity for you. Be open to receiving the blessings that are coming to you and the way in which they are bestowed. Your daily mantra, Tara, is this: I am a warrior of light and hope. We go through these, what do I want to say? Times in our lives, episodes in our lives where everything just seems like, could it get any worse? And it does. So we go through seasons. Some of the seasons are very short. Some of them seem a lot lengthier. And for whatever reason, this message is being gifted to you today, Tara. Better times are here. And I'm hearing that old song, Happy Days Are Here Again. The skies above are clear again. Happy days are here again. At the same time that all of that message is going on. So yeah, you are a warrior. You have walked through some stuff, right? We do that, don't we? In the ebbs and flows and tides of life. Oh my goodness, we certainly do. Hey, Delgadillo. Hihane washte chue. Lila washte. Donna saying, wow, yep, I walk alone in some dark spaces, but love the light. Cousin, you are the light. On 2 feet. You are the light. There's no doubt about that. You're welcome, Tara. All right, Kelly Spencer. Have you moved here yet, Kelly, by the way? I'm just waiting for you to get here to Michigan. I told Todd the other day, boy, that coffee is good. Some Southern Pecan. I love Southern Pecan coffee. And yes, Holly, I do take it with a lot of cream because I love that too. Okay. So Kelly, I told Todd the other day, when you give the word, I am on my way to Minnesota for the last packing of your stuff. That's all I'm saying. All right, so a lot of you have joined the chat room since we began. Just a reminder that this weekend is a wonderful festival of in-between for those who are so inclined to celebrate. Lunasa or Lamas. Probably not saying either of those right. Amantha, if you happen to be listening, correct me, please, or Carla Joe. But it is a celebration of the time of the first harvest. And this is something that our ancestors in many places still celebrate. And our ancestors long, long time ago did celebrate. I still celebrate those things in honor of my Celtic and Norse and my European relatives, we'll just put it that way. This is the time of the first harvest of the in-between, and it extends for the entire weekend. So, beginning on Saturday until the full moon on Monday. And Nikki Jorgensen, if you're listening, happy birthday to you on Sunday. Happy birthday to my Chue Del Marie next Sunday, the 8th. The Festival of Lammas marks the first harvest of grain and calls to be celebrated with a feast. Traditionally, a large lammas loaf is baked and shared to celebrate the coming harvest, ensuring our survival through the winter and to bind us together with community and spirit. As the days shorten, the sun kisses the fields and fills the land with a vision of rich golden beauty as summer sings the final verse of Summer Song. So it's the time of the first harvest. Kelly Spencer saying, chugga, 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 chugga. I'm coming, girlfriend, and I'll take you up on that. We're days away from a sign in the yard. Hey, Kim, welcome back. Yeah, get over here, Kelly Spencer. Come on. Isn't that funny? For those of you that don't know, Kelly and I met one another when we were in, was it 7th grade, Kel? When my dad was stationed at Fort Snelling in Minnesota. And she and I had an instant connection. We're so different in so many ways. I was an athlete. Sports. That wasn't her gig. but there was something between us and we just absolutely hit it off. And it was the spiritual connection. It was like we even knew back then at the ripe old age of 12 and 13 that there was something greater, right? We met one another and instantaneously we were connected at the hip until my dad retired from the military and moved to Michigan, back home to Michigan. And here we are all these years later, right? All right, Kelly, enough of that. Here we go. This one is for you. All right, I love this one. It's the sun-faced Kachina, the life bringer. The origin of the sun-faced Kachina mythology or teaching, because I believe that Kachinas are very potent beings. I have a few Kachinas here. We have one in the school. We have a couple here in our home. And those Kachinas are quite potent. And so we take good care of the Kachinas that we have, like we do our Chanupas here in the home and in the school. But the sun-faced Kachina represents the life bringer. It is, of course, original to native North America, representing the elements of earth and light. And the keynote of the sun-faced Kachina, Kelly, is this: stand in the light. Stand in the light. Each of us is called to our earth walk for a divine purpose. During the course of our earthly existence, we are sometimes challenged by negativity and darkness, so that we might come to fully comprehend the depth and the breadth of our own divine light. That is true. Stand in the light of who you truly are, Kelly. Bring your soul's passion to life. Sing your song, dance your dance. In doing so, you are bringing the light of the heavens to earth, and by example, giving others permission to do the same. It is time for you to shine as only you can shine. Your daily mantra, Kelly, is this: my life and the calling of my soul are dedicated to the light. And I did not pick that on purpose. Yeah, that is the one that came up for you, the life bringer. Tracy Civic would like a card, please, and thank you. Good morning, Tracy Civic, up there in beautiful Traverse City, Michigan. Good to have you checking in. All right, Chue Del Marie, my elder sister, who I love to pieces. The angel Shamshiel is here for you, Chue. Shamshiel is often associated with the Shinto religion, and the contemplative word for Shamshiel is freedom. It's kind of interesting when people find out, they begin learning about the angelics, the light. Angel is one word for a being of light. Light being of light, light bringer, messenger, angel, angelos. There are so many ways, gligli wakam. There are so many ways of describing and giving a word for these beings of light that are messengers from the heart and mind of creation. Right? So many words. And people, when they begin to learn, including myself, when I began to really dig into what are these angels that I learned about in my 1,000 years of catechism, who are they? What are they? And we find out that they're not just relegated to, the four isms: Judaism, Hinduism, Christianity. You know what I'm saying, the isms. So we find out that the angels, light beings, bringers of light, are also found in a variety of spiritual paths and religions. Like, who knew about Zoroastrianism? I did not know about Zoroastrianism until many, many years ago. Being the book nerd that I am, I just kind of liked I heard a hint of Zoroaster, and I just had to dig right into Zoroaster. And who was Zoroaster? Only to find out that he was part of course, Zoroastrianism. And what did that represent? Well, it represents the Magi, as in the three Magi, the three wise men, blah, 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 blah. So we find out that these wonderful beings of light permeate all religion, pretty much, and spiritual pathways. They just go by different names. Just like there are many different names for creator, right? Sometimes we're all saying the same thing, and we don't even realize we're saying the same thing because we're describing it or using a different word. And we don't take a deep breath to find out what's really going on with another person's description, right? We don't ask the question, what are you talking about? Why are you describing it that way? What does that mean? What does that mean? And when we take a minute, take a deep breath, right, and ask really good questions, we find out how much we are alike, right? How much of our belief systems or understandings can be the same. All right, so back to this anyway. There I go off on a tangent about Zoroaster. All right, Chue. On the day you were born, the Wichapki Oyate danced with delight, and the planets of the universe jumped for joy. I like that. The angel Shamshiel comes to remind you that you are free to choose how you live, and that your life is a reflection of the choices that you make. Choose laughter, abundance, health, and endless love. Choose to sing from the mountaintops and dance with blissful abandon. And your daily mantra, Chue, is this: I am free to dance at the party called life. Right? Laughter is a great good medicine. If anyone can make us laugh, it's Del Marie. I have had so much fun laughing with her in my kitchen, in her kitchen, in Chue Barb's kitchen. It's amazing when all of us sisters get together and we are cooking together. Oh my God, the hilarity. The hilarity. Hey, Katie Battle. So there you go, Chue. Yeah, there's a whole lot of ties that bind us all. We just speak different languages. We were taught differently. So I think now more than ever, maybe it's time to just stop and ask the question, how do you feel about that and why? What is your understanding of that and why? And ask in a good way. Tonight, Sandy Herrick and I are live at 8 o'clock with Looking Deeper. We're going to talk about common sense. What is common sense? Right? We can all look back, but we can't go back. So let's talk about some common sense in these times. What's common sense to me might not be common sense to all y'all. And what your common sense might be may not be common sense to me. But why is that? Let's talk about common sense. Ooh, could get pretty interesting. All right, Delgadillo, this one is for you. It's the crow. I love the energy of the crow. The crow comes to us from the direction of the west, of the ancestors, and of course, Grandfather Sky. The medicine, one of the medicines, the pejuta of the crow is this: spiritual intelligence. Crows are so intelligent. And the cosmic correspondence for the crow is this: the Corvus constellation. Corvus. Delgadillo. I am ancient, old as time itself. I am your crow mother, and I will tell you of your birth amongst the stars. At the time the great mystery created light, you were born. Like your star brothers and sisters living in the sky nation, the great mystery is your origin and your home. The life-giving light that sparkles throughout the indigo sea of the starry nations is also contained within you. You have brought your starlight to Grandmother Earth for a short visit, known as a human lifetime. Share your light while you walk the earth path. Be brave. Have the courage to shine. Share your light with others, helping them to find the light within themselves. Isn't that a lovely teaching? And your daily mantra, Delgadilla, is this: my life and my light are eternal gifts from the Creator. Oh, I love that. I love that. That's another word, right? People can get hung up on. God, Creator, Maker, Wakantanka, Allah. So many ways of describing the creative force of the universe. So many brilliant, beautiful ways. God. Love that. Del, you definitely make people laugh. We can get you and Sister Barb together and we all have to wear our Depends. Okay, Tracy Civic. This one is for you. It is the mythology of the Sasquatch. The Sasquatch comes to us from what's known as the ultra-terrestrial regions. Ultra-terrestrial region is another way of saying that space between the veil. It's the space between spirit and physicality. There's this dimension where we encounter beings such as Sasquatch, other beings that appear. You know, if you come to my INEP, sometimes there are spirits that pop in. Well, they pop in from that place called the ultra-terrestrial region. It's that space in between. And so they pop through into our realm. And sometimes when we're walking out in nature, we find ourselves popping into their realm. We walk into where they're living. So we do that in our humanness. We go into their space, they come into our space. And those with eyes to see, ears to hear, and a heart to feel have the privilege of getting to see these things. Right? The Sasquatch is also known as the gentle giant from the stars. We never hear of a Sasquatch mauling anything and going away, right? Unlike the legend of the werewolf or those sorts of things. With the Sasquatch, we just see that it comes through and it picks some berries and maybe it breaks a few branches and it goes back to whence it came. It shifts through dimensions. The element of Sasquatch, or the elements, are earth and spirit. And North America is the birthplace of the mythology of the Sasquatch. The keynote for you, Tracy, is this: walk gently. Walk gently, and I'm going to read this to you, Trace. In the vast expanse of time, our earth journey is rapid and fleeting. Living life with a heart that knows the value of quiet compassion ensures that we leave enormous tracts of loving beauty in the lives of every living thing we encounter. When we walk on Grandmother Earth in gentleness and humility, we come closer to Spirit in every way. Gentleness with yourself, Tracy, and others is called for now. Be gentle with yourself. Walk gently through your own soul. Walk gently through your own heart. Walk gently through your own mind. Right now, be gentle with yourself. Your daily mantra is this: I walk gently upon Grandmother Earth, knowing that my true home is in the stars. Right? It's in the heavens, in the cosmos, in the oceans and seas of sound and light and love. Walk gently. I really like that one. Ultra-terrestrial beings, those nature spirits or spirits of nature, are very real. Very real. Katie Battle. It is the teaching of Hawk, Cheta. Many of you have met my spirit guide, Sparrow Hawk. And I have a beautiful sparrow hawk that lives here in the Enchanted Forest, right near my goddess grove that I was talking about earlier. And I have a nest with a baby a little baby sparrowhawk in there. And the other day there was an eagle. There's also an eagle that passes through quite frequently here in the Enchanted Forest. And oh my goodness, Sparrowhawk was chasing that eagle away from her baby. Amazing. And she came and she landed on a branch near me. And we just sat and looked at one another and had a little chat about how grateful I am for her presence in the Enchanted Forest. Right? Animals represent the beauty of Creator. And each animal is unique, just like each and every one of us is unique. And yet we all come from Creator. We all come here with a purpose, with a message, for a reason for being. And this is true also of Hawk, or Cheta, the Cheta Oyate, Hawk Nation. The sacred door for me, anyway, for Cheta to enter into my ceremonies is the direction of the south. And the direction of the south for me as I practice the ceremonies is the color white, shka. We say shka. White. And also south and grandfather sky. The medicine, or the pejuta of Hawk, is this clear sight and visions. Reminds me of Stevie Nicks' song, right? Crystal Visions. I love that when she gets to that part of the song. Katie, I am here to help you see that the Great Spirit lives and breathes in all things, including you. The four winds that carry my stealthy body with swift precision, the majestic trees that harbor and give me rest, even the food that nourishes me are all teeming with the life force of Creator. If Creator is in all, how can you fear your perceived enemies, seen and unseen? How can you fear your very existence? Come fly with me, and I will show you the mystery of life above and below, without and within, and all things in between. Then you will see as the Great Spirit sees, and know what the wise elders have always known. All things originate from and exist within the unified field of love. Your daily mantra, Katie, is this: I see things with great clarity. I have nothing to fear. I have nothing to fear. Boy, one of the fiercest birds out there in nature is that sparrowhawk. You know, she's not very large, but she is mighty. And it's so easy to forget, isn't it? Our origins and who we are. And it's easy to forget that right now, as we're all gathered in this manner, we are on a planet that is hurling through the cosmos. It's hurling and twirling through the cosmos in this very moment in time. Now, when I stop to think about that, it puts a few things into perspective. I can have all the worries in the world, and some of them may be common sense worries, or they might be worries that have become monsters and creations of my own mind. Right? And discerning the two is always important to take a minute. Why am I afraid of that? Why is that fear there? Has it been a thought that I have let go unchecked, and therefore I've created my own whatever? And then we stop to think about the fact that we are all on a planet suspended in the middle of space, and yet as it is suspended, we are racing through the cosmos. And at this moment, planets and stars are moving, we're moving. Everything is moving. And here on Grandmother Earth, this beautiful blue-green orb, there are things going on all over the planet, and in our cities, and in our towns, and in our own families, right? But there's always something larger. We are larger. Who we are at the core of who we are, at the source of who we are, is something pretty spectacular, pretty wonderful. Yeah, have a beautiful day, Kel. Yeah, it's easy to forget that. And so Wednesday mornings with all of you, whether we're exploring sacred or here in the mystic's heart, I think it's really important to just take a minute to remember that. All right, so I'm going to pull a card for all of you that are out there listening, either in the archives or you are listening right now and you're not in the chat room. Let's pull a group card because that's always fun. I think it's fun anyway. Okay, the card that I pulled is also from Mythology. The Spirit of Mythology Empowerment deck. The Mystic Angels Empowerment deck is now fully retired. The Mysteries of Ancient Egypt is nearly completely retired. The Totem deck is dwindling. Isn't that wonderful, the Mythology deck? And when they are out this time, I'm retiring all of the decks as we get ready to herald a brand new deck. But I want to thank all of you who are enjoying all of the work that David and I have created together with these empowerment decks. They are available both digitally and, of course, handheld. Now in over 60 countries around the world. My books and the cards are being enjoyed, and that wouldn't be possible without all of you. So thank you. Thank you very much. So for all of us, wherever you happen to be, the mythology of the water dragon is here. The water dragon represents water magic. It also represents intuition, insight, the third eye. And the origin of the water dragon, in this deck anyway, comes from the British Isles. The British Isles. I love all things having to do with the Arthurian legends, right? So, everybody, here's the message. Your sixth sense is heightened. It certainly is right now. For those with heightened intuitive abilities to begin with, our sixth sense is definitely heightened at this time. The reflecting pool of our psyche is infinitely deep and rich with ancient wisdom. For the one who wishes to dive deep into its cavernous abode, the water dragon will assist in bringing to the surface mystery school teachings reserved for those who are walking the path of spirit with integrity and balance. Pay attention. It's time to go within for guidance, answers, and insight. During this time of heightened awareness, it is imperative that you pay attention to your extra senses while maintaining balance in your diet, exercise, meditation, and prayer time. Our daily mantra, everyone, at this time, this is superb. I am awake and aware. I am awake and I am aware. And in those times when we need further guidance, prayer, meditation, contemplation, a walk in nature, smudging the house, whatever that is for you, getting into the groove where we're partnering with spirit, go there for a boost, for some insight, inspiration. With that, everybody, have a beautiful day. Get out there and shine as only you can shine. And stay awake. Stay aware. And just be you. Blessings be, everyone. I'll see you tonight on Looking Deeper.